I'm gonna do my best today to share some very valuable things with you so that you can start to look at your core training a little bit differently. And then from here, you're going to be on the road to success. And of course, I will share this right away that if you do need specific help, you want that extra support, you have specific situations, I help women strengthen their core and their whole body holistically to ease pain, to become stronger, more confident, and I give them that extra support that they need because we are all a little bit different and not everything that's so as simply said is as understood, or we might need to make modifications or things for us, right? Once upon a time, I was riddled in pain. I had a very dysfunctional body. I was very uncoordinated, very weak. So I want to just share that with you as well, because I didn't just wake up super fit and confident and like, oh, I've got no pain, I've got a super strong core, I'm just going to show people how to get a strong core. No, I had to work hard. I had to really learn how to connect with certain areas of my body that were blocked. But with time, everything just kind of works itself out, and I know the same will happen to you. We just need to take our time that's needed to discover what we need to do for our body. All right, so let's dive into this. When it comes to our core, most people just think initially the front muscles right here, the abs that you can see. But our core is more like the cylinder. There is a front, back, and sides. And this core is protecting your spine. It's doing a lot for your whole body. But what a lot of people miss out on is what's happening above and below. And where a lot of programs and maybe exercise routines go wrong is people aren't really aware of what's happening to their head and neck, just first off, because maybe using screens or having to look really closely at things, or maybe just habits or airway issues or a few other things, the neck posture just kind of goes off as a result. And so you might understand this one very easily when you see people walking around like that all the time. This puts a lot of pressure on our core. It can also impact your pelvic floor and so many other things as well. And as a result of that, if your head and neck is really strained all the time and then you go to do a lot of core exercises, it can actually be counterproductive. You could be wasting time. It's not to say that's always going to be the case, but you might be trying harder than you actually really need to. And then as a result of that, you might be having a lot of neck and shoulder pain on top of it. Because when we want to strengthen our core muscles, we want that what's above and what's below to be in a strong position as well. So that means we might need to actually stop and pause, and instead of focusing on these areas to exercise first, we might need to start doing exercises for the back of the neck, the front of the neck, and also just how we move in space. So sometimes spatial awareness exercises are actually really helpful. And when you're doing them, you actually feel your core muscles working too, which is really cool. But you just don't know that you're doing those exercises for your core right away. Like you wouldn't have thought, oh, that's an ab exercise, but it is kind of thing. And also what's happening below. So if you have pelvic floor issues or any pelvis issues or leg weaknesses, foot issues, all these things can impact the core as well from the below. And as a result of that, sometimes the core muscles have to tighten up or work extra hard because there might be weakness down the chain. So as a result of that, just trying to tense or strengthen your core more might not be the solution that you need. You might actually need to do some loosening up exercises and strengthen the lower body. And as a result of that, your core is going to start to work a lot more effectively. And importantly, when it comes to the core, we always see this advertising, being a woman, this woman with the six pack, and we think, oh, she's got such a strong core. But the thing is, our core muscles don't like to be really tense and hard. Most healthy tissue in the body should have a bit of a bounce. So if it's rock hard, that's usually not the best sign. We want that spongy feeling, a little bit of softness, so that the muscles can kind of be like an elastic band and have a bit of stretch. So I often explain to my clients that when we think of the body like an elastic band, you want to be able to stretch and then bounce back. And if you lose the ability to bounce back, things are probably really tight or maybe really worn out. Say for example, you always bend over and you round your back to pick something up. The ability to kind of put your back into a good position, you've lost that ability because maybe it's like overstretched. So learning how to create that bounce back into your body is really important. And that is a huge element of what I train my clients to achieve in their body, to learn how to get that bounce back. So now that we know that, thinking how we need to get that bounce, it's really counterproductive to make the muscles in the core super tense. It's important, yes, that you might feel some tension when certain muscles are working, or maybe if you've had a workout, but generally when you're looking at your core or your muscles around this area, there shouldn't be a chronic tension there that is impacting circulation and flow. So now that I've shared all this information, hopefully you are able to follow along, or if you are feeling a bit overwhelmed, maybe just take a glass of water, take a breath in. I'm gonna slowly now just go over a few other things. And again, if anything is a bit overwhelming, don't worry, that's totally fine. And now I wanna talk about breathing. So when it comes to our core, there's a reason why sometimes people do struggle to strengthen their core properly, and that's because they're confused on how to breathe, and sometimes they take too much air in, and taking too much air in can impact the pressure here. So what that means is, say for example, you're doing an exercise, maybe it's for your core, and you're taking a lot of air in and you're just kind of holding that air in instead of exhaling. So a simple example is if you do like a crunch, you breathe in, you exhale, and then you feel that compression, and then you inhale, and then. But some people, when they are doing their core exercises like a crunch, they'll go, and they're holding their breath, or they may be breathing at the wrong point. So sometimes learning to coordinate the breathing with the movement is something that needs to get practice in itself. And that's not something that you want to rush. You want to make sure that you're not in a stressed situation. And you also want to make sure that you maybe slow down the exercises like a lot, because there's so much going on for the brain to work everything out, that if you feel like you are stressed for time, or you're maybe in a big class setting, it is just too much tension that your body just stays in this state, and then you just don't breathe properly, or you completely hold your breath the whole time. So making sure that we inhale and exhale correctly when necessary for an exercise is really important. And also over breathing. So if I'm always over inhaling like this, I'm bringing my air up really high, which really impacts the below. Because if I want to work my lower core, my pelvis, my pelvic floor better, I need to make sure my breath can go low. My breath needs to be calm. So if you find yourself over-exercising, hyperventilating, neck and shoulders are up here all the time, that's really going to impact things too. So as a result, if somebody is going through that, and that is their go-to, I might start to look at exercises that are going to be a little bit more gentle, a bit more opening for the lower abdominals, the lower back, the hips. And one last thing that often gets missed is the ability to twist our body. Because everyone becomes so focused maybe on the front or the back side, the ability to twist is something that people lose the flow, the ability to do so they stop doing it, or they just completely forget to twist altogether. So if somebody's body is really tight, twisting movements just don't feel very natural. They might also have a bit of back pain or tension around the ribs that's impacting their ability to do so. And also, maybe if somebody has a back injury, they may be a little bit nervous to twist because when they've twisted in the past, it's hurt. And if that's the case, usually it's not just the twisting that's the problem, it's that there's an alignment issue below or maybe above that's not in its happy place, if that makes sense. The tissue is not bouncy. And then when you go to do some twisting exercises, because you don't have good support down below, that just kind of puts the nervous system in a bit of a state of stress, and then pain happens. So if that's the case, or if you could relate to that, we need to slowly be careful on how we incorporate twisting exercises and build yourself back up with that. Maybe look at doing some pelvis and lower body work, and then incorporate the twisting at the same time, or in conjunction. Certain exercises will be planned strategically, and as a result of that, then doing the twist suddenly feels so much better. And then when we twist, the best part about this, or twist more like motions, is we work the oblique muscles. These ones that give you those lines over there. So this is not just to focus on appearance, but it's also nice to say, hey, that is what gives that nice definition. So they keep your core, they keep your lower back really healthy and happy when you're able to twist well. And it's also really great for your glutes or your hip muscles, because when you're able to twist well, you're also able to work your glutes better. So if you want to get a stronger booty, if you want to have a stronger midsection, making sure that you can twist safely and properly is amazing. And if twisting is not possible for you right now, you want to see what can you do to build yourself up to this, because it should be an achievable goal, unless there is some very specific medical consideration. But for most people, it's something that we should be able to do, because we have to twist in normal day life, right? So not being able to do things that just require normal daily function is a bit of a pain in the butt. So with all this said, I'm going to now attach some exercises that you can jump in and start to apply. This is going to be so helpful for you, just so you can make sure you've covered your bases, you focus on some deep specific areas that most people neglect, so you're not going to be like most people. And if you know that you need that extra support, you're really uncertain on what's best to do long term. Some of us are just starting out, some of us have injuries, some of us just need that extra accountability, support, making sure that we're doing our exercises correctly. That's where I come in, and that's where I offer very specific coaching that helps my clients reach their next level faster. So you don't waste time and you save the overwhelm, and you have accountability, so that in the next few months, you are going to be that stronger, confident you, especially with the core. So all the details are below. I hope this helps you so much, and I would love to hear how you go. After you've applied the exercises, if you're doing that, or of course, if you need that support, just please don't be shy. Reach out. We'll see if I can help you. And if not, that's okay. Maybe I'll be able to recommend someone else that can too. So thank you again for taking the time out to watch this. Here is to you getting a stronger core, becoming more empowered and confident in your body.